The new Whirlpool W collection with Sixth Sense technology that fully guides you to achieve perfect results. Whirlpool, sensing the difference.
Welcome back. Well, it looks like lockdown is extending, so there's plenty of time to try your hand at a bit of baking at home.
In case you haven't already now.
Yeah.
Letting us in on the secret to her crusty bread, excuse me, is Krissy Gibson from Take the Cake. I'm not sure if you heard the squeaky chair on my mic, but maybe it's me knees. Krissy, good morning.
Good morning, Krissy.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Simple bread.
So simple. It's crazy how simple this is. It's the method by which we're baking it that makes this special. And the other thing that's so special about it is that anybody at home can do it, and so you have no excuses. I fully expect both of you to go home today and get busy. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
Two things.
There we go.
Two things. You have to prepare this a day before you bake it and eat it. And the other thing is you have to have the kind of pan that has a lid, okay?
Ah, right.
So these are the two things that you do have to have. There's no way around those two things.
Okay.
So actually, I think my current loaf is just about ready here. So we start with 450 grams of self-raising flour, okay? And that's about 3 cups for those of you from North America who are watching. 3 cups of see, look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Isn't it beautiful?
3 cups of self-raising flour, and to that, we add only a 1/4 teaspoon of dry yeast. So you do need dry yeast at home.
Okay.
This is hardly any. It's less than a gram, okay? Probably a lot less yeast than people are used to using. Anyway,
So it's not even one of those sachets?
no, it's
Yeah.
not. It's
Okay.
probably a 1/4 of one of those
Okay.
sachets. And then a teaspoon of salt, maybe 5 grams or 4 grams, okay? So those are our dry ingredients. And this only has 4 ingredients. 4.
That's it.
That's
And we've
it.
already seen 3.
And one of them is water.
Okay.
Okay, so when I say to you, this is a basic bread, I mean this is a basic bread. It's just the way that we're making it is what makes it unique, okay?
Is there a gluten-free version, Krissy, or?
You know, Simon, I knew you were going to ask me
Yeah,
that.
because I have to, because I've
And what answer did you prepare?
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, I have so little experience with gluten-free flours that I know that there are good ones out there. But I always feel like if I tell you the wrong thing,
I know, yeah,
people are going to
yeah.
go try.
Sure.
But the truth is, I'm just not very experienced with gluten-free flours. Those who bake gluten-free know exactly what
Yeah.
flours work well for them.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you're making it with this method, you'll probably do okay.
Okay.
So I'm mixing in these 4 ingredients, okay? If you want to add, say, a handful of walnuts and or a handful of dried cranberries, you can do that.
Very
Okay.
good.
So I'm going to throw those in. This is the stage at which we throw them in.
So have you got both?
Yeah, I put walnuts in there and cranberries, okay? Now, we're done, okay? We let this sit, but here's the thing. You need to take it out of your bowl with, and put it in a towel. Do you see that towel I have right over here with some flour on it?
Yep.
I've got this one prepared. I mentioned earlier that you need to prepare this a day before you bake it, okay? We're going to let this rest now and cover it with cling film. Let it rest for 12 to 18 hours, okay? After 12 to 18 hours, you take it out and you put it on a towel that has been covered in flour, okay? So I'm gonna do that now. And then after you've got it on the towel, just put a little bit more flour on top of it.
Okay.
All
What
right.
if you left it for any longer than you suggest, Krissy? Would it be okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just don't go any less.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna put a little bit more flour on top. Can you see what I'm doing there? Mm-hmm. Now we've got our dough, and you saw how simple that was.
Yep.
So now I'm covering it up, and we're gonna let this sit for 12 to 18 hours. You don't need to put it in the hot press. You can leave it in your kitchen, and maybe on top of the cabinet or just on the counter, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The next day, when you go to bake it, you get your pot, as long as you've got one with a lid, like this beautiful one here.
So that's 2 12-hour proving processes.
No, sorry. I'm sorry to be confusing.
Yeah.
One proving process that we've discussed so far.
First
That's the 12 to 18 hour one, okay? 4 ingredients, 12 hours,
So when
wrapped
it
in a
goes
towel.
And then how long?
Then the next day, when you're ready,
Okay.
you heat up your, This sits in the towel for 2 hours.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
So 12 hours and 2 hours. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So sorry. 12 hours, 2 hours. So this sits in here for 2 hours. Now, after about an hour and a half of that, you turn on your oven hot to 230 Celsius, okay? And the pot needs to sit in the oven for a half an hour
To heat up.
to get it good and hot. Now you can use, the one that I have the most luck with is this one. That one's fine. As long as your pot has a lid that can go in the oven, you're golden.
Okay.
Here's one that's glass, and this also works just fine. All right? As long as it's got a lid, you're fine.
Because by you heating the vessel it's cooked baking in, that's going to create our crust, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. So here I've got my pan, and here's a loaf
It's a
that I
resting
had
one, yeah.
proving. This one's been here for 2 hours.
Okay.
So it's ready to put in. Now, you might notice that I put maybe just a little bit too small amount of flour in here, but that's okay. So we carefully take it out, and we've got our hot pot. We plop it in,
Okay, done.
okay?
Okay, so
Everybody
whatever
see
bowl you
that?
have will determine the shape.
Yeah, so this one's round. This one was kind of square because I did it in there. This one's going to turn out to be kind of an oval shape. So we put it in the oven for a half an hour, covered, all right? And it has to be covered.
And I still at 230 in there in terms of cooking?
230. And after a half an hour, you take the lid off and you bake it for another 15 minutes.
And it's going to brown up then, is it?
That's right. So here I've got a hot loaf. I encourage you, gentlemen, to try this hot one in a few minutes. So after a half an hour baking with the cover on, you take the cover off, you bake it for another 15 minutes, uncovered, and then you're done, okay? So here we have our bread. Just listen to that,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
okay?
It's definitely crusty.
Oh, yeah.
This is a crusty bread. And when it's warm, it is the best.
Sensational.
And I'll tell you something else. This bread doesn't stay fresh very long. So you want to eat it the day that you bake it.
Okay.
We're going
Pop
to
it,
tuck in.
pop it in the freezer.
You know, I've never bothered.
Frozen bread? No?
This loaf of bread in my family lasts about 10 minutes.
Okay. Yes, it's meant to be eaten once it's made, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's nice and thick as well.
Oh,
Okay,
crispy.
you've cut it.
So good.
It's really good warm, too. And it could not be easier. It's just a matter of investing a little bit of time and patience in the right dish.
And it makes a change from sourdough bread, which is lovely.
It's so
That
good.
is beautiful.
But with sourdough, there's a little bit more effort involved because you've got to make the starter, and I think that puts some people off. I know that sometimes it puts me off because I don't have the time to make a starter.
Krissy, that is beautiful. Thank you very much.
Like
as
as
always.
simple. Thank you, Krissy.
Great recipe. And of course, full details of the recipe are up on our website. Or as ever, check out takethecake.ie for more of Krissy's stockists and recipes.
Now, if only we had a sausage to go with all this
If
crusty
only.
bread. Sausage jokes because the Masked Singer winner, Josh Stone, will be joining us after 11 this morning. Stay with us, lots more still to come.
The new Whirlpool W collection with Sixth Sense technology that fully guides you to achieve perfect results. Whirlpool, sensing the difference.